Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Sire Wave from State to the Point Radio on WFBS 98.1. I just want to thank you so much for just clicking on that link, checking us out for the first time. And if you're not a first timer, thank you for coming back and checking us out again. If you rock with the show, if you love the show, if you just enjoy the vibes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget that bell so it can alert you anytime we drop a vid. I love y'all. I thank y'all. And again, like we say at the end of every show, God over everything.
Now
Peace.
tuning in to Stay Today to the Point Radio.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Sideway. Well, this not just Sideway, but this is Stay to the Point Radio on WFBS 98.1. I am your host, Sidewave.
Yo, Fuego Beats, aka Sidewave. Let me stop.
Sherry here, y'all. Hey.
And then I got not even a special guest. She is family. That's my sister, Jasmine. Yo, check out our channel on YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell button. And then we got a special guest. We got a special guest in the building, Mr. Sugg. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Good, bro. Good.
I'm trying to figure out my video, so excuse if you see some crazy stuff over here.
Nah, we see the big P.
Yeah.
We
All
good.
We got it. We're good. So we got a great show for y'all today, man. We're gonna talk a little bit of some I'm bully type or shout out to I'm bully free.org.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna talk a little bit about bullying, mental health. We also gonna talk on some other topics. I gotta catch up, man. I missed last week and I felt it. I was itching that I couldn't get on last week.
Yeah,
But I am back with my beard looking like a homeless man. Oh, I don't, no disrespect.
Wow.
I'm just talking about bullying, and I just said what I said.
He said I look like a homeless.
No.
All
right, let me take that back. But anyways, yo, we here. How's everybody feeling? How's y'all week? I look at my sister and I see how her week is. Oh, no, I'm just joking.
Wow, what? He just hitting everybody today. Like, you know what I mean?
You know
Like,
that he
got me
does
2
that.
weeks
He's
ago,
like,
I can say a lot of words, but like you said, no bullying. Because I was going to light that ass up, boy.
Yo, you ready to go? I'm shutting up. I ain't doing it. You about to get
Yo.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
But
Yo,
it's flame.
Okay. My man got chicken in the background. All right.
That's beef, yo. That's beef,
okay.
homie.
Got you.
Oh, we could change our backgrounds.
Yo, that's that new joint.
I like that.
They got the beef.
You got the beef. I dig it.
That's what's up.
So what about Fueg? How's your week, brother? How's everything, man?
It's cool. I'm on vacation now, so it's better.
It's
better
better.
being on vacation. Yeah, I ain't doing nothing. I'm about to have the beard like you. I ain't doing nothing but drinking and chilling and then working my boys out after what they did to me. Did you guys see what they did to me?
What did they do to you?
I can't say the word I usually call them,
Go ahead.
but they ate my food. They did it again. I came home, yo. We had ribs and steak and all. I'm ready to go. I'm like, yeah. When I get home, the dudes left me the liquid of coleslaw.
And I did see the picture.
I said, I went off again, and then they tried to hide, and I saw them sneaking down the stairs with plates, trying to like evade me and shit. And I'm like, yo, y'all really ate you didn't leave me nothing. Then the oldest one says, I'm looking for this body armor drink that I had, right? And then I lost it. And I said, I can't find it. He said he finds it and says, well, to my wife, well, Daddy thinks he lost it anyway, so I'll just drink it. So I'm like, so I lit that ass up on the football field this morning. Oh, it was great. But anyway, that's how the end of my week went. I'm good now though.
Yeah. Sherry, what's going on? How's your week?
Oh, that's good. Kind of quiet, kind of busy. I threw a birthday party yesterday for my daughter. It was a TikTok theme. It was interesting. But we had a good time. Good food, good family, all that good stuff.
That's what's up. Yeah.
How about
me?
You?
Me? I'm being light skinned. Doing my light skin thing.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So hard.
Just
Such
saying,
a hard
just being
life.
like saying, it is, man. Like it's crazy, yo. You see, look, look, this is real. No, I've just been doing, working. We've been doing overtime lately, so it's just. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have a job. I'm blessed to just get paid every week. Right now, there's people out there that's just not getting paid. I just heard that Trump just signed that bill. You get paid $400 a week now, being unemployment. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope everything goes well with that and some more stuff. They're going to turn around and say, yeah, you owe us all that money, by the way. But anyways, so Mr. Suggs, what's going on, man? What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm in Gary, Indiana, home of the Jackson 5.
Yes, sir.
And I work with kids, and I try to get them to be outside. So I'm really on this urban agriculture tip, where we're trying to get kids to put food in the ground, trying to get them to grow it because we're a food desert out here. If y'all don't know about Gary, it's basically like a lot of times people say it's like Detroit light, but really it's more like Detroit concentrated. You know what I'm saying? Like it's smaller and there's fewer people, but it has all the same amount of problems. So it's a real rough spot out here, and it's challenging, man. It's challenging. So.
Oh no.
Okay, that's what's up.
That's still
All right, so let's get into it. There's recently, I would have say like about a week ago, there was a story that came out of Logic versus Joe Budden. Joe Budden is obviously was a big time underground success rapper that became media, and now has one of the most popular, one of the most top-notch podcasts in the world. And pretty much he got into it with Logic, not really into it with him personally, but he doesn't feel his content, he doesn't feel his music. And he said some things that were just very unkind. He got into it with them because of the fact that Logic's music is not really his type of taste in music. And they got into a joking scenario when it comes down to pie. When you get around a lot of friends, you're going to say a lot of things that could kind of be very rude and very bully-ish, right? So Logic came out with a hip-hop, I'm guessing it was with Peter Rosenberg. He got into an interview with him, and he said that what Joe Budden says and Charlemagne the God, there are certain words that they said pushed him to maybe even committing suicide or even think of possibly hurting himself from the words that they were saying about his music and all his crap. Now, Logic is known as a very, I wouldn't say he's very commercialized. I wouldn't consider him a pop star because he's not as popular as these other rappers by the name of Cardi B and the Baby and those kind of rappers that are very charted, but Logic has a huge fan base. He's I will put him in the mix of like a Jaden Smith, may I say. What my sister's wearing his sweatshirt at the moment. He has
Sorry, go ahead.
He has a popular fan base, so he does sell albums. He's very successful in selling albums. He has a great core. Now, it got into a debate. Well, I would say it was a very healthy debate online between me and my man, Mr. Suggs here, that spoke about Logic as, that he was a victim. Joe Budden was the bully, that he is pretty much jealous. Well, I'm not going to speak on his behalf. I'd rather him do that for himself. But I came across as this generation nowadays I try to be as sensitive as possible. I try not to go there, but sometimes you got to kind of go there. Generation is very sensitive and it's very soft in some ways because if you put out music to be criticized and you don't like what comes out of it, don't be doing music. That was my main thing. So if a man criticizes it, calls it trash, that he is one of the worst rappers alive, if you are strength, if you have some type of strength within yourself, you shouldn't affect you in that way. Now, me personally, I was a big Logic fan at the beginning, from Under Pressure to The Life. I want to say the one with the spaceship. I got to pull that up. What title? Oh, The Life of the Incredible. That's what it was called. After that, he did this one album called Everybody, and he lost me there. He started talking about black and white. He's a very positive rapper. I can't knock it. He's a very positive rapper, but he sounds like Kendrick. He sounds like J. Cole. He started mimicking Kendrick and J. Cole. Go ahead, Jazz. I hear you. Okay. So we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. And I have proof. I have proof of that. Check 44 More and check Kendrick's DNA. And you're going to see some similarities.
Check everybody.
So
you gotta have to check everybody.
Yeah,
everybody sounds like everybody.
But you're right. But in mumble rappers, I don't consider hip hop. So you could take that away.
No. I'm talking about people who are inspired by other people. I think that they at first can't help it. I know what you're saying about Logic, because he started out to you sounding this way, and then you felt like with everybody he was sounding another way.
He was following.
Yeah.
I think that real talented rappers come out with a style and it stays that way. Like the real good rappers, their style really doesn't change. You know what I'm saying?
So I used to, go ahead.
That's just how I feel. Like any rapper that I think is a valid rap artist, their style is the same. Even if music changes, their style is the same.
And one to add
like
to
even
what
Jay-Z is a very commercial rapper. He's a very commercial rapper.
And just to add what Sherry was saying, and also to respond what my sister Jasmine is saying, Logic is mimicking people from his class. He's not mimicking the Nas's. He's not mimicking the Jay-Z's. He's not mimicking Kool G Rap or Rakim. He's mimicking and following the wave of rappers that's in his class.
Because every rapper is going to tell you that they're inspired by somebody, but they have their own style. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's one thing to be inspired by somebody. It's another thing to completely
take it.
Everything. Yeah?
No, I get that. I just feel like a lot of rappers do that in terms of what's a good one? Oh, I wouldn't say this is a good one because I'm not a fan of Nicki Minaj for real. But Eminem. Eminem has been that rapper for a very, 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 very long time.
Right.
But Eminem recently came out with an album where he was doing mumble rapper stuff. He was doing it in that tone, I believe he said, because a lot of people resonate with this, but he was also talking about what Eminem talks about. And he did that to come with the times. He was rapping with the times.
Exactly.
Which is a fail to me. That's a fail.
But I was gonna say this. I'm talking for what I used to tell artists when when we was producing and stuff. One of the things that they do a lot of is that they do remixes and things like that on other people's tracks. So it happens to go that way. So if I do a Mobb Deep joint, I'm gonna start sounding like Mobb Deep because that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. Yeah, but also I like with the I know Sherry, you said fair. I can understand what you're saying with that, but you got to keep up with the times. So if you stick to, like you were saying before, you stick to who you are with your style. But say you did what Fat Joe did. He did. I ain't like it, but he did some down south stuff because that was popping at that time. So they do things like that so they could keep up, so they could pretty much sell in today's in what today likes. I
don't think they want to be outdated.
Yeah, they don't. But at the same time, you can fall in.
But I don't feel like rapping certain things same thing with, it's not a lifetime thing. You ain't supposed to be in that for the rest of your life. And I feel like there are certain rappers that, Logic's not one of them because he's super young to me, but when you're talking about Eminem, that was your example. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. I don't really feel like Eminem should be trying to keep up with these young rappers. That's just how I feel.
Well, in respect to Eminem,
hold up, Jazz. Hold on one second. Mr. Suggs, go ahead, bro.
Yo, so I just want to make the point that I think we're missing a little bit of context because, when you talk about somebody who sounds super original, I think of Wu-Tang, right? Mm-hmm. I think of Method Man, who still sounds like Method Man. I think of Ghostface, who still sounds like Ghostface. And then I think about Action Bronson. Y'all are familiar with Action Bronson,
Who
right?
sound like Ghostface.
Who sound like Ghostface.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I think, because when I first was listening to him, I was like, yo, this dude, whatever. He's straight up, jocking Ghostface.
Yeah.
But I think you got to understand that rappers come up with their canon. You know what I'm saying? They have their group of MCs that they listen to, who, and if you are MC, you sat down, and especially if you are of our generation, the pre-2002, when you was still doing the thing where you was getting on the radio and recorded on tape and making them mix CDs and hitting rewind and listening over and over. Like, you're literally training yourself to understand their rhythm, to understand their flow, to have that be your foundation and your basis for what you're going to move on to do. So in as much as people sound like other people, they sound like other people because they're listening to the same crew of people. You know what I'm saying? So I get a little uncomfortable when we talk about people jocking styles, because I think Action Bronson can't not sound like Ghostface, because Action Bronson was rocking Ghostface like hard. That's where he came from. That's where he grew up. Those were his people. And let's keep it real, like that New York flow, there's a whole bunch of people that flowed like that 92, 93, 94, 95. We just don't remember them because they're not Wu-Tang. Same deal goes for if you go back to the 80s, it's very Big Boy, right? And all them down south, like CeeLo, all them, they came from a place where that was how you rhyme. And right now we remember, the top 5, the top 6 or whatever, but everybody was rhyming like that. So I hear what you're saying. I don't remember who was saying it about emulating flows and sounding like other people, but at the same time, it's really just the best or the luckiest or the best connected people are the ones who rise to the top and then get known for that. Because Big L, ain't nobody know Big L when Jay-Z was coming out, but Big L was killing it. And if you listen to early Big L and early Jay-Z, you listening to Big L when you listening to Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he did evolve and he did come up with his own thing. He slowed it down, blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of intricacy going in there. Like, it's like soul food. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got everything. Yeah. I just wanted to make that point.
No doubt.
Well, there's style and then there's sound, because you can have the same style and have a different sound. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not exactly super familiar with Logic or the comparison. So that's why I'm just saying, for me, any rapper that I have gravitated to, they literally have their own style. Like, you can't, it's not something to be copied. They have their own, sound. Now,
like nobody sounds like Andre
New
3000.
York rappers have a New York rapper thing. Southern rappers have a Southern rapper thing. But like, the music is the same, similar, but their styles are different, or their sound is different. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's just like. What's the word? Lil Wayne and them. They all kind of had the same style, but they had a different sound individually. You understand what I'm saying?
So what it is the cadence in their voice. So like NWA, people might sound like them, but that's Ice Cube, because he has a different cadence in his voice. DMX, right. Method Man, Redman, all they have that. They have that, and just like Pax was saying, some people get lucky to have that. It's just natural,
right?
And some don't.
Or like Drake had his own kind of style, like, and people keep trying to copy it, and it doesn't work because somebody's already doing it.
So
you understand what I'm saying?
Jasmine, go ahead and respond.
I guess the way I see what y'all are saying, some people copy people and their purpose is to copy people, but I think sometimes people,
I like that. Yeah.
Like, like, I forgot, I think B. Lloyd said it, Prego said it. He was like, that there's some people who just genuinely try and emulate that and then don't. So what I feel like with Logic, what it was, especially since you can't say he had a whole album trying to sound like Kendrick, or like a whole bunch of albums trying to sound like it, I think he was just emulating his peers. At the time. And the way I differentiate Logic and why I feel like he wasn't specifically trying to copy Kendrick, regardless of sound, is because Logic is always going to talk about Logic stuff. They're talking about two different things. When you hear Logic or read his lyrics, that's Logic's lyrics. He may sound similar, but I don't think his intentions were to completely I'm gonna take Kendrick's flow and I'm
Right.
just gonna be the new
Now-
Kendrick. And
Now, I'm going to respond to that, and then we're going to get into this bullying. Okay, now, I'm going to say, you're right, Jazz. Absolutely. That he kind of took the wave of it, like the beat, because he took the beat. 44 More and what was it? I just said it. DNA. DNA both have the same similar. They even have the same bridge breakdown at the middle of the beat. If you check it out, his flow is similar to Kendrick because he rap fast towards the end. Now, that to anybody else that's a fan could say, wait, you doing too much. Even though what you're saying is different, you are way too close to what's going on this side, which is, by the way, only 3 or 4 months prior to your album coming out. It's not like he came out 5 years of Nas doing I'm Rich. No, well, that's over 10, 15 years, or actually longer than that. From back then and taking like a reverse and taking that and then doing something off of that. He's doing something that's just recent, like literally not even months away. So that could also be taken as that content as well. So now I'm going to get into the bullying part of it. Joe Budden came very, very rough. Like he told him that he sucked, the album sucked. He's tired of him speaking on. Yeah. He said,
well, that's him.
Yeah, because
I love Joe Budden.
That's
what you mean I wasn't in Bad and Bougie? What you mean I wasn't in Bad and Bougie?
That's him. He's just very.
I love his character. And see, the thing about it is, you could trash him. You could trash him. You could say his catalog was forgotten because his friends tell him all the time, and he lets it happen. But because he's from a different generation, where he came from the 90s. Now this is what I'm saying versus the ones that came from 2010. 2010 was just it's a very soft and gentle state that people are just, they come up with their craft and they look for they look for this let me hold you and tell you that you are great, that you need that pat in the back.
Real quick, have you seen Joe Budden in was it MTV, BET, some VH1? He went there for relationship advice and wanting to talk to his son. The reason why I throw that out there is, yes, you see him on podcasts. I know you know him musically, but I saw him on VH1. Dude was a crying mess.
He's a mess.
Yeah, no doubt. I saw
He can't handle this shit.
Of course
he can't handle this.
Of course he is.
He's
like, that's the whole point. That's why he's so mean. He's so mean.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
Mean
so it's kind of rough.
He's not nice. He's not nice
funny how
inside
you
of
saying
himself.
it's so mean. It's funny how you saying it's so mean. That's hilarious, by the way.
I don't think he's mean. I just think he's not different.
He's mean.
He's not mean, bro. He said what it is. He's opinionated.
Right.
He can't handle what he puts out, though.
Y'all sound like you are defending the racist uncle at Thanksgiving.
Wait, I'm gonna get there because I was about to ask y'all.
Like, for real, it's like no, he's just
that's
from
just
a different time. You have to give grandma a break because back in her day, people were much more gentler. Kids nowadays are sensitive.
Kids are sensitive today because of older people. That's how I put it. I feel like
no, you're absolutely right.
Because they're not willing to take racist shit anymore. That's not being sensitive. That's being like, hey, yo, grandma, you racist. Go sit down in the corner or I'm going to flame you. And grandma,
that's a different category of checking somebody.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, like
and Logic didn't do that. Well, to you that's not the same, but I'm here to argue that it is the same. Like I'm here to straight up say Joe Budden is the racist grandma or the racist uncle who gets a little too drunk, gets a little bit too much in his feels because auntie left him 4 years ago because he ain't never been shit. And then he went,
Joe Budden is just
what's the difference?
The old generation. Joe Budden is the old generation.
But it's not old because I'm not old, okay?
I'm saying they're in a generation where they are very much, you keep your shit internally. You say what you mean, respect when respected. It's two different things. Now, I'm not going to say
just like grandma.
Crying and feeling as sensitivity. I feel like it is what it is. I'm embracing that. Cool. But these same people that are Joe Buddens, talk a lot of shit. They're opinionated. I'm not saying it's bad to be opinionated. I'm not saying it's bad to be like that, but at the same time, you got to recognize the way you show it can also be very sensitive. Being hard and like, that's my opinion, can also come off as sensitivity.
Let me say, Sherry, I'm going to let you talk, but let me respond. What I'm saying is back in the 90s, it wasn't the internet as popular as it is now. So it's easy to get these recordings of people bashing and saying you trash. Back in the 90s, it was the same thing. It was even harder.
But
if
you had to get on wax.
No, if you mimic and you trash somebody, all they did was come harder. They said, what? Okay, let's do it.
But they cried in the car. They took their ass home and they cried about it. They just didn't vocalize it on the internet. They cried.
Jazz.
They booed and wrote their little raps. They were like,
this is my thing.
They wrote raps. They didn't just talk.
Somebody being opinionated when I'm going to go
He's
back
a media.
to the original.
He's a media.
Like,
That's what I was going to say.
Wait. Because to the original comment to what Saya said at the very beginning. First of all, this is a genre of music that is known for that type of stuff. And if you can't hang,
he wasn't
then
musicking.
you should.
He's a media journalist. What are we talking here, bro?
But my point is,
his job. That's his job.
You're arguing.
There's literally zero platform or podcast that talks about that kind of stuff that is not going to give an opinion, because that's what I feel Jesus. Biden, I feel like Joe Budden is doing. That's just how I feel. You know, he's just giving his opinion.
I'm gonna wait. And that's cool, and that's fine. But like the thing that y'all, I really feel like, so I feel like y'all are trying to have it both ways a little bit, because at the one hand, you're saying back in the day, people used to talk trash all the time. Yes, they did. But you had to go into a studio, you had to write rhymes, and that was how the trash was talked. There was none of this podcast media sideline bull. Right. There just wasn't that.
What I'm saying.
I'm gonna stop. Wait. Let me stop y'all.
Let me say what the other side is first.
Let me say something.
But nowadays, and what I'm saying is, and what I said in the original conversation on Facebook that got a lot of this ball rolling was that if Joe had hit the studio and spit some bars, that would be one thing. But he didn't. He's just talking trash. And one of the things I think is very important to point out is he's not critiquing Logic's music. We have critiqued Logic music. We have talked about whether he is reductive and whether he is sounding like other people, whether his beats are soft. Because my biggest critique of Logic is that his beats are kind of trash and he went like that pop BS and that I just can't listen. He sounded like Mac Miller, you know what I'm saying? But so like those are critiques,
real
of
critiques,
music. Yeah. Joe Budden was on there like go half black man. Like Joe Budden was just being to you. Joe Budden was just being mean. That's all he was doing. He literally and at every single point his co-hosts were like, you can't say that because here's actual facts. And he was like, I don't want facts. I just want to shit on him. And it kept going back over and over again.
That's what's wrong with people nowadays.
Let me just want to shit.
At least he told you what it is.
I have one more sentence.
If
you just want to shit on somebody, hop on a track. Because no, like he said about Logic, nobody cares. Like it's mad easy to sit around and talk trash. That's it. I'm done.
No doubt. Now I'm gonna tell you like this. I hear all y'all. I'm gonna say this. He is not a rapper anymore. He's in the media. Therefore, he ain't jumping on wax. Is Charles Barkley going one-on-one with LeBron? No. His time is done. It's over. He's done. So he's not doing that. Therefore, he is the media, and this is what the media does. They are going to say you whack. They're going to say, guess what that girl said about you? And if you're going to cry about it, that's your business. But at the end of the day, if it's bullying, it can be called bullying. I can see how you say that's bullying. Stephen A. Smith bullying when he talks about how Harden is this or whatever?
Thank you.
But at the end of the day, they are media, and that's what they do. And if you know hip hop and you know where it came from, playing the dozens, you talking about people's mamas. And you ain't getting on wax because you couldn't afford
a whole show
to get on wax. You couldn't do that. You couldn't afford to do it. So it comes from something. I agree. I like Logic. Like personally, like I liked him. I agree with y'all that it kind of went Lil Poppy. I get it. So, but I'm just speaking about Joe Budden, this is his persona. This is who he is.
Yes.
And that's why he acts that way. That's why he
is a bully.
That's where he makes his money.
That's his persona.
But see, and that's what I was saying. Like, if you call that a bully, see, I don't call that a bully. I call that being a dickhead. That's what I call that being. You're being an asshole. You're being a jerk. A bully, to me, he would be continuously riding him. But let me ask a question. A bully would say, Paxson, you come in. Every time you come in, I'm talking about you, I'm riding you, I'm hitting you on social media, I'm bothering you. If a subject comes up and you say, is this album whack? Yo, he's garbage. I'm going to tell you the real. If anybody ever, there's a lot of rappers that I just think is trash. And if you bring them up, I'm going to tell you that they trash all day, every day. But if we ain't talking about them, I ain't going to bring them up. But if they come up, I'm going to let you know.
I don't think that's the problem. I don't think the problem is his opinion. I feel like everybody has the right to have an opinion. And he was talking on his show, right? It's his show.
Yeah.
So I don't see the bully in that. I feel like it's your show. Nobody's going to tell me what to say on my show. And how I feel, if I have an opinion on this, it's my opinion on this. But where is this half black man? What were y'all talking about? Because I haven't actually seen it.
So he trying to, that's a big deal. I see what,
You should really watch it. I mean,
I heard that. I did hear him say that.
It's not like, look, I'm a teacher. If I saw 3 kids in the hallway talking the way Joe Budden was talking, that kid would have a detention and be an ISS and sent to the principal's office. Because he's bullying.
Kid.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't change when you grow up. You don't get like yo, you don't turn 18 and become waterproof.
Listen, for the first time, this is a rarity, y'all, and I want it to be on record that I 100% agree with Saya Wade on this subject. That's
the first in history.
I really do.
What are we agreeing with Ariel's thing? Is that what now?
He's not a bully. He's just
not
media.
a bully. He's not a bully.
Oh,
he's a media. He's
talking shit.
Putting out of his opinion. He's talking shit. And then also this generation, kids, adults, I don't give a damn. I'm a grown up and I meet sensitive ass adults a lot. And
that's where I disagree.
Over it. I'm so over it.
That's where I disagree. I agree with he's not a bully. I will agree that he's not a bully. I feel like he's just opinionated. And he has to keep up this character. But I will not agree with everybody in the generation is sensitive. I think everybody's a product of, I think it trickles down. So our grandparents were this way. And then so-and-so, our fathers were this way. And then this way. I think it all is a spiraling effect. I don't think people just come out and they're just this way. I think there's generational trauma. I think that some of the hardest people that I've ever known in my life, sorry, Ariel, I'm going to use you. My older brother, he's very opinionated, very like, I got my family, boom, 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 cool, right? But we were raised by my father, who was very opinionated, whatever, but otherwise always had his stuff together, but didn't. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of things. My father was very much go hard, don't cry in front of nobody, and you don't need this, and you don't need that. But guess who? He was a very weak man on the inside. So when you see somebody who's so sensitive and needs hugs and blah, 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 I think that's a big fuck you to people who are actually embracing who they are and actually trying to become the man they need to be. I feel like some of the weakest people don't ever speak about their emotions, but they punch walls. They're like the older white men who just punch walls because they're mad. Like, you see what I'm saying?
No doubt.
I don't disagree with you on all of that. And, you know, I personally have my own things. And, you know, so we all have our own stuff. You know, life is not easy. I get that. I'm not saying that or whatever. I'm a huge advocate for mental health and all of that shit. My issue is people not learning or wanting to learn how to cope with their issues. And that's my thing, or making other people responsible for how they feel about things. I don't agree with that. Like,
and that's what I see with the old school.
But I don't make people responsible for how I feel. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my saying, it's a choice to be offended. I believe that. It is a choice to be offended. If I'm offended by something, it's because I'm choosing to be offended by it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you want everybody else to be responsible for your offenses. I'm not. I don't care. I'm not not going to be responsible for your offenses. If I say something in general and I'm not personally attacking you and you take that shit to heart, that's your problem.
Joe Budden was personally attacking Logic.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yay.
He may have personal, but that extra shit that because I didn't know, but all that extra stuff y'all were talking about committing suicide and all that shit that's extra. That's extra. And I'm not here to tell nobody how to feel. But if you insert yourself in that environment, and that's the environment, it's been that way for years. That predates any of our
I don't think that.
Sherry,
that predates any
that's
of
not
us.
mental health.
Sherry, but this is the funny thing. I listened to Logic's interview with Peter Rosenberg. He said he never listened to Joe Budden's show. Never listened to Joe Budden's show. He didn't listen to his apologize because Joe Budden apologized after he said what he said. He didn't listen to that. He doesn't listen to Joe's podcast. So if you don't listen, right, but then you said that Joe has words that makes you want to commit suicide. What, did you read it?
That's a choice. That's a choice.
Yes.
So that's a choice. You chose to read it. You chose to be offended.
Y'all are a trip.
I have a question. So if someone gets upset about something, so my question is, but if somebody grew up in a weak household, right? Super weak, been abused all their lives. They're obviously weak-minded to this day. Right. Nobody to blame. They're just genuinely weak-minded. They're not blaming nobody. They don't even talk to their family. Right. And they're already going through something internally that they're dealing with. Again, not blaming anybody for it. Right. And something was said to cause them to be like, that's it. Because again, they are in a weaker place. Right. That's a choice that they made. Fuck them. It is what it is. You're weak. Is that how we're looking at it?
No. What I'm saying, because what I'm saying is if you help. Are you sure? Are you sure? Now, what I'm saying, because you're the one with the beef in the background, and I'm with my plain one. But what I'm saying is the fact that...
Are you personally offended by that? Are you choosing to be offended?
Am I choosing? No, because I actually brought it up.
A carnivore?
I'm telling you.
I'm saying, like, I just put it up because I'm a carnivore.
Oh no, I think it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit more than that. But what I
used to be a butcher. You know what I'm saying? That's how I made my way through grad school. I like meat. You know what I'm saying?
Pause. But yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is, when it comes down to this, when somebody's going through mental health issues, I feel like the loved one's supposed to come in and say, you know what? I'm gonna help this. I'm gonna help my sister.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. Family's the first. Family's the first to make it worse. I'm just gonna let you know right now.
Because they don't know how.
They don't.
Right. Yeah. But there's got to be someone that you trust in, that's going to trust in you, that's going to find a way to help you. Even if they don't know, you're right. But life isn't always lucky. Life works its course. So you can't. If that's the case, I could choose. Hey, man, I want to win $1 million tomorrow. But that might not happen. So again, that goes for this too. All I'm saying, if my loved ones, my sister that I love dearly to my heart, if she was ever going through anything, I would be right there for her because that's my loved one. And even if I have to pull her ass out of the car to take her to therapy if she don't want to go, you come and help your loved ones. But
real quick,
a stranger to come up and say something, he doesn't need to know your whole dialogue of what you went through in your whole life to say, you know what, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. No, a stranger is going to say whatever. The world is cruel. The world is ugly. And like I heard of a skit, they say they would take you, eat you, and spit you out. And that is a fact. But that's why your family, your friends, whoever's close to you, come and help you up, raise you up, build you up to strengthen yourself so you won't have to be so soft or weak-minded in something as a stranger that you never met in your life to affect you in that course.
And I'm going to say something that's going to piss everybody off. I feel like Joe Budden is Joe Budden. But I also feel like Joe Budden has to keep up that persona because that's how he makes his money. Joe Budden, you wouldn't expect anything less. So it's not only him, it's also a character that he has to uphold for his show. Both things. I don't think Joe Budden's like that in his personal life. I truly don't. He's not like that with his family. I saw him cry a lot. Okay? Logic, I see where he's coming from. But I will also say, who's a very big mental health person, I don't think it's cool that Logic did say that, where he was like, anybody would commit suicide listening to Joe Budden, Charlemagne. I don't think, my biggest thing is I don't think we should group everybody into one situation. I think that's fucked up. I've always said that. I don't think that you should group one person, one black person is all black people. Yep. Same thing as I don't think you should group one person with depression with another person with depression. They're two different things. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. So
just
that
like
being,
I have an autistic daughter. All autistic children are
not
the same. There's different spectrums, different, you know.
With Logic, 100%. I feel like that's also a character he has to uphold. Just like I said about Joe Budden. Logic stands for peace, love, and positivity in people who commit suicide and no bullying. So I don't think that Logic actually feels that way, which to me is where the disconnect is. I think he said that because he has to. He truly believes that Joe Budden is a bully. I get that. But I don't think Logic was saying, man, if I listen to him, I'm going to commit suicide. And I feel like people need to talk from themselves more instead of this whole, I have to keep up this for me.
But do you, I'm assuming you see the problem with sharing that narrative or even sharing the idea that it's okay to commit suicide because somebody's picking on you. Like that's
he didn't say it was okay though.
I never,
he didn't.
No,
he didn't get it. But you don't. That's my point. Is people being. I just think that's your platform. These are things that you speak against and all that stuff. But to put that out there is like anybody who would, whatever you said, he said, would commit suicide after hearing that or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's a very vague. I don't think he should have said it like that. I agree. Yeah. I don't think he should have just been like, anybody listen to this.
If anybody really took that as face value, then something's wrong with them to me. Because if I heard Logic say that, I'm not taking that at face value that everybody's going to do it. I'm he's talking for himself. Personally,
correct. But we already know that everybody doesn't
think. Oh, absolutely.
Everybody doesn't think the same. And I mean, if this year has taught me anything, it has taught me that. Because I'll see things from a political standpoint and be like, I don't understand how you can support that. And then, but people do. You understand what I'm saying? So, so I mean, it is what it is. You know, I don't know.
Right. That's how I feel like when people talk about Joe Budden. Like, you know, Joe Budden is like Trump style to me. Like just straight up Trump style. Like dude just gets on, talks shit, walks away, doesn't ever do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but what is he supposed to do? He's running a podcast, not running the world.
He can do whatever he wants. This is not a judgment. This is not a judgment of what he can or cannot do. It's a judgment of how his behavior is. He steps up, he talks shit without any evidence, and then he goes away. And then, you know, he says, hey, it's not on me. And it's like, yo, you don't have to be that mean. And for me, what I just keep running into and what I find just so very interesting is like, we all agree to some extent he's meaner than he could be. Like he could still do stuff. Well, y'all say opinionated. I say mean. Like my man is mean. This is the 17th. This is the 17th. It doesn't matter if it's real though. It exists. You know, like, do I really think Trump believes half of what he says? No. But I think he does it for a reason. I think he does it to keep up a platform. I think he does it. I think he does it to maintain power. It doesn't matter what the platform is.
It's a radical. No. But it's just a radical comparison. That's a radical comparison.
But no matter what comparison I make, I feel like I keep getting pushback. Look, if you're 7 years old and you're in second grade, bullying is bullying. If you are 18 years old and you're a freshman in college, bullying is bullying. If you're 56 years old and you're in a boardroom, bullying is bullying. The definition of bullying does not change.
Can I say this? So a question for everybody. Simon from American Idol, he's a bully too.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, no, he's not.
Okay. So I don't. I think
he is just authentic and
what sets aside to me.
too?
Opinionating and bullying. I could be opinionated if someone asks me something, like you said, if you're gonna ask me how do I feel about this music, it's trash. End of story. To me, what turns into
you're talking about the music.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
him.
To you. I'm
not the
you.
person.
What I'm saying is, what's bully is what you said. When you start talking about half black, blah blah blah, that has nothing to do. I didn't ask you about what he looked like, what he feel like. I feel like that's extra.
To me, bullying is a repetition. To me, bullying is when you
go out of your way.
over and over pick on the same person constantly,
which he doesn't.
And Joe Budden admitted in his interview with Lupe Fiasco that every time he has talked about Logic, he has shitted on him over the last 6 years.
How many times has he talked about Logic?
3 times?
I don't know.
In 6 years? 3 times in 6 years? 3 times in 6 years?
Y'all are not getting what
I get it. I get it. No.
So,
I get what y'all saying.
So he repeated it. He just didn't repeat it enough. I mean, y'all gotta come on.
Like if I'm talking about your podcast, like if I'm talking to Ariel about his podcast, like I don't like the podcast, whatever. But at the same time, dude, beard's ugly, blah, blah, blah. He don't even got a sub, popping off at the mouth, and then this, and then that, and then he light skin, he got a pimple on his flame.
She got on you. She got on you. She just no. But wait. What I didn't hear him say all of that. I heard him say like right now. If I say right now, like come on, Puerto Rican dude, come on, let's go. Like he said that like he's being a jerk. Now you could take that as whatever way because he said half black. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it.
His music. What he did
but it was come off. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Coming off his music because the whole album of Everybody, if you listen to it, he talked about how him being half black, half white, half black, half white. So he came off of that.
That's all Logic talks about. That's him. Yeah, that's his brand.
So I can say about his music.
He's had an internal struggle since he's had an internal struggle since forever. His mom is a shitty person,
and that's
who's
what
racist
I was about to say. Again, this is going back to what I said. It's a choice to be offended, and Joe Budden is being held accountable for everybody and everything that's ever said anything to Logic. Now, collectively, over the years, has he felt bullied because have everybody been saying this and that or whatever, and maybe it's a lot of the same shit, possibly. But I don't think that Joe Budden alone could be considered a bully.
You cannot talk shit. You cannot talk shit and then say, I'm not accountable for what I said. That's how I feel.
No, but if you own it, that's why I'm kind of upset that he apologized. Because
if you own it, then don't apologize. But at the end of the day, people are going to call you a bully. And it's going to be that because you open your mouth.
But that's what I'm saying.
How I feel about
it. If I'm going to have an opinion about something, if I am not intentionally trying to hurt somebody and it is just that an opinion, if I'm asked something or if I go on to a podcast and I say something and we're talking about that subject, I'm not going to apologize for what I said. I'm not. Because if my intent was not to hurt somebody, then it wasn't to hurt somebody. I'm not going to be responsible for everybody's offenses because in that case, I'm just going to be around saying sorry every day. That's crazy.
All right. Look,
I'm not apologizing every day.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because I would love to get into this man cave. We already did like about a good 40 minutes of bullying and this conversation. So I would love to get into the man cave. My sister came out with a dope ass question.
I'm scared. What is it about?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.